Hey you, welcome back to the deep dive. If you're enjoying these explorations, a quick like and follow really does help us keep things going.
It really does. We appreciate it.
So today, we're tackling something super practical if you're gearing up for those postgraduate entrance exams.
Key vocabulary.
Exactly. We're zeroing in on day 29 from that, that essential 5,500 word list.
And the goal here isn't just, like, memorizing definitions, is it?
No, not at all. It's about really grasping these words, seeing how they actually work, especially in academic writing and reading. We want to make them stick.
Right. Boosting both your vocabulary and your comprehension for the exam. It's about building that toolkit for understanding complex ideas.
Precisely. We're looking at how these words live and breathe in different situations.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's dive right into our first cluster. It's a cool little group built around the root perspire. Let's start with expire.
Expire. Okay.
The basic idea is, well, something coming to an end. You might say, the lease on my apartment expires next fall.
All right, pretty straightforward. That makes sense.
Yeah, it signifies termination, like a contract or, a passport expiring. It's no longer valid.
Invalid, that's a good way to put it.
Right.
And there's also the more serious meaning, right?
Yeah, sadly, it can mean someone's life has ended to expire.
So the core idea connecting these is that point where something just stops being effective or in force.
Exactly, the natural conclusion of a defined period.
Got it.
Okay, shifting gears slightly, a bit more uplifting.
Yeah.
Inspire.
Ah, yes. Inspire.
When something inspires you, it encourages a certain feeling or idea inside you.
It sparks something.
Right, like reading about Marie Curie, it truly inspired me to pursue science. It lights that fire, that motivation.
And from inspire, we get inspiration.
Exactly. Inspiration, which can be the feeling itself, that sudden, brilliant idea.
Or the source.
Or the source, the person or thing that triggers it. Nature has always been a powerful source of inspiration for artists.
So inspiration is either the effect of being inspired or it's the cause. Interesting dynamic.
Yeah, that external stimulus igniting something internal.
Makes sense.
Okay, next in this group, aspire.
Aspire. Ambition comes to mind.
Totally. To aspire means having a really strong desire to achieve something, usually something significant, like many young doctors aspire to specialize in surgery.
It shows that clear goal, often long-term, not just a casual wish.
Right. And inspire, it has related forms. Aspiration, which is the desire itself, the ambition.
The noun form.
And aspiring, the adjective, describing someone with that ambition. An aspiring musician, for instance.
And this word aspiration often pops up in more formal settings, doesn't it? Academic texts, maybe?
Absolutely. We actually have an exam snippet here. The country's technological advancements reflect its aspirations for global leadership.
Ah, see? That really shows the weight aspirations carries. It's about significant overarching goals, not just personal wishes, but national ambitions here.
Exactly. It signals a profound guiding ambition.
Good example.
Okay, let's wrap up this peer group with perspire.
Perspire. This one's more physical.
Yeah, quite literal. It just means to sweat. You might read, after the intense workout, he could feel beads of perspiration on his forehead.
Very direct. And the noun is just perspiration.
Simple as that.
So a straightforward physiological process. Very different from the kind of cognitive or emotional meanings of inspire and aspire, even though they share that root.
Interesting connection, though. Okay, let's pivot now. Let's look at access and some related words.
Okay, access.
We'll start with approach. Now, this one's interesting. It has a couple of key meanings.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, it can be a method, a way of tackling something. If a problem isn't working out, you might say, we need to adopt a different approach to this challenge.
A strategy, basically.
Exactly. But approach also means physically getting closer to something or someone.
Oh, right. Like the deer froze at the approach of the hikers.
Perfect example. Two quite different senses there. And then we also get approachable, the adjective.
Meaning friendly. Easy to talk to.
Yeah, someone you feel comfortable going up to and engaging with.
It's interesting how approach covers both method and physical nearness. You can almost see the link, can't you? Getting closer to a problem, getting closer to a solution method.
That's a neat way to think about it. And approachable extends that nearness to social interaction.
Okay, so what about access itself?
Right, access.
Yeah.
This is all about gaining entry or having the right to use something. Super relevant today, right? We always talk about needing reliable internet access.
Absolutely. It's about being able to get to what you need, information, a place, a service.
Yeah. And here's an important example from an exam context. Ensuring equitable access to education is crucial for societal progress.
Wow, yeah. That really highlights how fundamental access is. It's about opportunity, removing barriers, fairness.
Definitely. And then there's the adjective accessible.
Which can mean a few things too, right?
Yeah.
Easy to reach physically.
Yep. Or easy to understand, like accessible language.
Or easy to use, like an accessible website. Versatile word?
Very. Okay, next in this cluster. Assess.
Assess. To evaluate. To judge.
Exactly. To evaluate or judge something. You might say, the teachers will assess the student's progress at the end of the term. It's about figuring out the value or quality.
Determining worth.
Right. And here's another one from a real exam. Researchers are working to assess the long-term effects of this new medication.
So it's about careful evaluation, especially when things are new or complex. Like technology, maybe? I think I saw one about judges assessing new tech.
Yes, that's a great point. Like, it is hard for judges to assess the implications of new and rapidly changing technologies. That fits perfectly.
And the noun form is simply assessment.
Assessment. Straightforward.
Yeah. Okay, one more in this group.
One more. Obsess.
Ah, obsess.
Sounds intense.
It is. To obsess means to be constantly preoccupied with something, often, excessively. Like he's completely obsessed with vintage motorcycles.
A very strong, maybe even all-consuming interest. Yeah, it can imply that. And it even has marketing implications. Look at this exam-related sentence. Successful marketing often targets consumers who are already somewhat obsessed with the brand.
Interesting. So it leverages that intense focus, but obsess often carries a slightly negative feel, doesn't it? Like being fixated, maybe unhealthily.
I think it often does, yeah. That sense of it dominating your thoughts.
Okay, got it.
All right, let's shift focus again. Now to words connected with pro.
Pro.
Okay.
First up, profile.
Profile, like your social media profile.
Well, yes, that's one meaning. It starts visually, right? The outline of something, like a face seen from the side, a silhouette.
Okay, the literal outline.
But it also means a brief description, highlighting key features, like the website features short professional profiles of all the employees. Gives you the essentials.
Right, a summary.
And profile can also mean the overall public image or recognition level. Like, the new marketing campaign aims to raise the company's profile.
Ah, so it's visibility or standing. Exactly. And it can be a verb, too. To profile someone means to describe them briefly.
So from a literal outline to a descriptive summary to public image. That makes sense.
Yeah, language evolves, right? Okay, next. Propel.
Propel sounds like movement, pushing forward.
Exactly. To drive or push something forward. Think of a rocket being propelled into space.
Yeah, a strong force-causing movement.
Right. Or, more figuratively, her talent and hard work propelled her to the top of her field.
Ah, so it caused a rapid advancement, a significant shift.
Yeah, implies a strong driving action.
Got it.
And last in this little pro group is proceed.
Proceed, to continue, move forward.
Yes. To continue doing something or to move forward with an action. You might hear, once the necessary approvals are granted, the project can proceed.
So it suggests continuing after a certain point or condition is met, following a sequence.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, now we're moving into a pretty substantial and really important group of words. These are all related to seed, which comes from a root meaning to go or to yield.
Okay. Seed, go or yield. Got it.
Let's begin with excess as a noun.
Excess, like too much.
Exactly. An amount that's more than needed or normal or allowed. A surplus, you know the saying, avoid excess.
Is the golden rule for a healthy life.
Yeah.
Like an excess of sugar isn't good.
Perfect. And the adjective form is excessive, meaning too much. Like the hotel charged an excessive price for the minibar.
Right. Going beyond a reasonable limit or boundary.
Right.
Deviating from the norm.
Precisely. Okay, following that, we have ascend.
Ascend. Going up.
Yep, to go up or rise. Think of the hot air balloon began to ascend slowly into the clear morning sky.
Nice visual. Upward movement.
Or as we ascended the mountain, the views became increasingly breathtaking. So upward movement linked to environmental change.
It often suggests a kind of gradual, controlled climb, doesn't it? Literally or figuratively.
I think so, yeah. And the natural counterpart is?
Descend. Going down.
Exactly. Descend, to go down or come down. The hikers begin to descend the steep trail carefully. Simple enough.
But it can be used figuratively too, right?
Yes. Like, a hush descended upon the crowd as the speaker took the stage.
Ah, like something settling down from above. Darkness. Silence.
Mm-hmm. And the noun form is descent, which means the act of going down, obviously.
But also lineage. Ancestry.
Yes, good catch. Lineage or ancestry, like
Mm.
she could trace her descent back to a famous historical figure, or even most European languages have a common descent from a common origin.
Interesting. That idea of coming down through the generations.
Exactly. And speaking of that, we have descendant.
Someone related to people from the past, an offspring from a later generation.
Precisely. Like many of today's Europeans are descendants of people who migrated across the continent centuries ago.
Okay. And what about offspring itself?
Offspring just refers to the children or young of a person, animal, or plant. And interestingly, it's the same singular and plural.
Oh, right. So the farmer was proud of his prize-winning sheep and their healthy offspring, not offsprings. These all tie back to that coming down idea. Family history, generations.
You really do. Now let's consider transcend.
Transcend. Sounds like going beyond something.
It is. To go beyond or rise above limitations or ordinary experience, like her performance in the final act truly transcended expectations.
So really exceptional, going above and beyond.
Yeah. The noun is transcendence, and we saw this in an exam context too about art. The artist's work achieved a level of transcendence that resonated with audiences worldwide.
Seemingly going beyond cultural boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It suggests reaching beyond normal limits, something extraordinary.
Exactly. Overcoming barriers in a remarkable way.
Okay. Transcend. Got it.
Next up, accelerate.
Speeding up.
As well as that, increase in speed. The company's growth began to accelerate rapidly in the last quarter, shows that quickening pace.
Or it can be negative too, right? Like speeding up deterioration.
Yes, lack of maintenance can accelerate the deterioration of old buildings.
Good point.
And the opposite is decelerate.
Yeah.
Slow down. Correct. Decelerate. Essential words for describing changes in rate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now precede.
Precede. To come before.
Yes. Before in time, order, or importance. There was an exam-style sentence. Federal laws precede state laws. Shows hierarchy.
Okay. Order matters. And the noun is precedent.
Right. Precedent, a past action or decision that acts as a guide, like the Supreme Court's decision set a legal precedent.
For similar cases. Yeah, that's a key legal concept.
It is. We also get the adjective preceding, meaning the one just before, and the noun procession.
Procession. Like a parade, a line of people moving forward.
Exactly, a formal or ceremonial line moving forward.
So precede is fundamental for sequences, order, history.
Absolutely. Okay, building on that, procedure.
Procedure, like the established way of doing something, steps to follow.
Perfect. A set of established or official ways. Hospitals have strict hygiene procedures to prevent infection. Emphasizes following guidelines.
Or, to file a complaint, you must follow the correct procedure. You need the right steps.
Exactly. Procedures provide structure, consistency.
Makes sense.
Then there's process. Similar, but slightly different.
Process. As a noun, like a series of actions.
Yes. A series of actions or steps leading to an end result. Living a new language is a gradual process. Takes time, multiple steps.
Okay. And as a verb.
As a verb, it means to treat or prepare something through a series of operations. Like the factory processes raw materials into finished goods.
Or processing food. Like when food is processed, many nutrients are stripped away.
Good example. And the thing that does the processing is a processor.
Like a food processor or a computer processor.
Exactly. Versatile word, process.
It really is.
Okay, we also have predecessor.
Predecessor. The person who had the job before.
Yes, exactly. Or something that came before another thing of the same kind. Like the current CEO is implementing different strategies than her predecessor. Highlights that change.
Okay. So how is that different from ancestor?
Good question. Ancestor is specifically a person you are descended from, usually further back in the family. Like archaeologists study artifacts left by our distant ancestors.
Ah, so predecessor is about a role or position. Ancestor is about family lineage.
Generally, yes. And related to ancestor, you have ancestry, the lineage, and ancestral, the adjective.
Got it. Clear distinction.
Moving along. Succession.
Succession.
Yep.
Following one after another.
Right. It can mean a series of similar things following each other. The team has had a succession of victories this season, one after another.
Or it can mean inheriting a position, right? Like royal succession.
Exactly. The order or conditions for inheriting a title or office. And the person who takes over is the
Successor.
successor. The queen's eldest son is her heir and successor. or she has been appointed as his successor.
And the adjective is successive, meaning one after another without interruption.
Perfect. Succession emphasizes that sequential link. Next, concede.
Concede, to admit something or yield a point.
Yes, often reluctantly. To admit something is true or valid or give way in an argument. After reviewing the evidence, the lawyer had to concede that his client was guilty.
Okay. And the noun is concession.
Concession, which can be that admission, or it can be something given up in negotiations, like the striking workers won several important concessions from the company.
Ah, like a compromise that results from conceding points.
Exactly. It implies that yielding.
Okay.
Concede and concession.
Then we have exceeded.
Exceed, to go beyond a limit, or be greater than an amount.
Precisely. The final cost of the project exceeded the initial budget.
Yep.
Went over the limit.
Or her performance far exceeded the director's expectations, went beyond what was hoped for.
Right. Surpassing a limit or standard.
Got it.
And finally, in this big seed family, recession.
Ah, recession, economic decline.
Yes, a period of temporary economic decline, reduced trade and industry, usually defined by a fall in GDP for 2 quarters in a row.
Yeah, not a fun word. Many small businesses struggled during the recent economic recession. Exactly. Or during a recession, consumer spending tends to decrease significantly. Shows that impact on behavior.
A significant downturn with widespread effects.
Definitely. Phew. Okay, that was a lot.
It really was. We journeyed through quite a bit there for day 29. That peer-spear group, the words around access, the pro words, and that huge he-seed family.
Yeah, but hopefully by looking at them in context, seeing the connections, the examples, even those exam snippets.
Hopefully they're more than just definitions on a page now. You start to see how they function.
Absolutely. And remember, the real key for you listening is to start noticing these words. See them in your reading, especially academic stuff.
And try using them. Weave them into your own speaking and writing. That active engagement is what makes them stick.
Yeah, and pay attention to how they fit in a sentence. What other words do they hang out with? Those patterns, those collocations are super important for really understanding and using them right.
Definitely. Understanding those relationships is crucial.
So as you keep building your vocabulary for those big exams, just think about how these words we talked about today might pop up in different subjects. Recognizing them in context, that's a huge advantage.
It really is.
Well, if you found this deep dive valuable, please hit that like button. Follow us for more explorations like this.
And maybe share it with someone else who's on the same learning journey.
Yeah, definitely do that. Thanks so much for tuning in.